In my opinion, Season 5 is stretched out far too long. Could have been done easily, reasonably in half the time. Then you could also create much better tension and the viewers wouldn't fall asleep while watching. Obviously, they were inspired by the Sasuke rescue arc. But Mitsuki had no real reason. There are just some randoms coming. There are so many embarrassing actions in this season, especially from Kurotsuchi, and also Naruto's decision to bring Boruto and Sarada back with force instead of it reminding Naruto of himself and sending them support. And there's also one really incredibly annoying thing I noticed. Sarada's Shanaro! Especially at the end of this season. God, do I... Episode 71 to 92. It's going to be fun. Mitsuki dreams his first dream. It's episode 39. Mitsuki wonders more and more who he actually is. Besides, a Kage meeting takes place where both generations are invited. The old generation is quite relaxed about the Otsutsuki problem, while the new generation is a bit more serious. By the way, Kakashi is as picky about oranges as I am, and A is definitely a monster. Only Onoki is still missing at the meeting, which Boruto and Ko meet by chance. He shows us his skills, confuses Boruto with his deceased grandson, and while they spend the day with him, there is a lot of talking. For example, Boruto asks him the question that Naruto had asked him. What is the hardest stone? Answer: the will. Day over, Mitsuki goes home and finds a letter, burns it and ends up roasting no-name Chunin. We see the fight against the two Chunin and how helpless they are against two opponents. But it is shocking to see that Mitsuki is also involved. The police start the investigation. Mitsuki doesn't come to the meeting place, so the meeting place comes to Mitsuki. Except Mitsuki isn't home either. And also creepy that Mitsuki has a picture of Boruto by his bed. Mitsuki is nowhere to be found in Konoha now. Boruto and Sarada overhear a conversation of Naruto and Ko, also go after them to Ino, where she digs out the last memories of one of the injured Chunin. Already questionable that Tsunade, Kakashi, Naruto and Ko didn't notice Boruto and Sarada. Now Ino can confirm that Mitsuki has apparently become a Nukenin, and I think the exit sign is pretty nice. Boruto wants to continue to believe in Mitsuki and meets a snake that can talk to him, or rather it's something Mitsuki talked to him about, or something like that. Now Boruto wants to chase him, meets Sarada, and the journey starts to Orochimaru's hideout. Konoha uncovers the identity of Mitsuki. Because he is the son of Orochimaru, Konohamaru gets a little pissy. After all, Orochimaru killed his grandpa Sarutobi. Naruto talks a bit with him, so all is well again. Boruto and Sarada's wayward action is discovered, so Team 10 is sent after them as a search party. They arrive to Orochimaru's place to maybe get more out of the snake. But no, there's nothing more there. Mitsuki apparently wants to find out more about his true self, and that's why he goes along with weird guys like this, who he doesn't even know, and it just doesn't make sense. Orochimaru also gives them the tip that they should go to the Dragon Slayer, as the Sennin might be able to get more out of the snake there. In the end, Team 10 catches them though. Ino, Shikasho and Moegi against Boruto and Sarada. While fighting, they trick Team 10 and escape for now. Now Inojin finds two pairs of Boruto and Sarada from the air, which continues their pursuit. Moegi goes after one pair, which are also taken out pretty quickly, and the other three chase after the other, which the two also grab, then get involved in the talk no jutsu and are persuaded to help Boruto and Sarada. So leave and apologize for Moegi, and together they go to the Dragon Slayer. When they arrive at the Dragon Slayer, they get something to eat. Good, because Jojo has already almost died of hunger. Shortly before they have eaten something, however, the scam is exposed. The food is in reality mud or something. If they had eaten some of it, the snake woman would have been allowed to eat them. That was the first test, and already comes the next. Boruto is locked up and now has to put stones in the wall. Most important is to set it to very epic music. And for the next magic trick, Boruto is bitten and has to listen to a chatter of genjutsu. He gets through that too, so passed again. Now they are allowed to go to Hakusha Sennin, but she doesn't want to unleash the snake. Unless they get her a chin scale from the giant snake Garaga. Absolute MMORPG feelings. Main quest, find Mitsuki. Side quest, find Orochimaru. Side quest 2, find Hakusha Sennin. Side quest 3, bring her a scale of Garaga. And yes, it's just as boring as it sounds so far. They meet Garaga and Shigadai first tries his shadow technique. You have to be optimistic. Just before Garaga grabs Sarada, another snake comes to save her. Now run away for the time being, as long as Garaga is busy. While brainstorming, the other snake comes to them. It's Sasuke's contract animal, Aoda. He gives them the tip not to try again. But after a sentence of Sarada, he helps them to get the scale. Now Chocho first distracts Garaga with a giant form. Inojin blinds his only eye. Aoda bites him. Shikadai uses his shadow again. Chocho now holds him too. And then Boruto and Sarada come to get the scale. But that doesn't work out again. After Garaga shot a Tabura stone spit at Chocho and she turned into a statue, he was able to free himself again. The fight continues. Garaga is apparently stronger than Aoda. Boruto and co are still bugging him though, so he retreats for now to get the tactical advantage in his food cave. Another problem, Aoda is unable to go on. Meanwhile, in Konoha, an attempt was made to kill the surviving witness. The killer was tricked but managed to escape from Moegi and Sakura by dropping a needle on the floor. Yes, very good action, Sakura and Moegi. In the city, he then is confronted by Udon, who notices that he is controlled by a genjutsu. Udon releases him and the enemies detonate a bomb on him. Pretty amazing how bad the security measures are at the Hokage's place. The bomb was with him non-stop. Whatever, back in the cave, they trick Garaga. He only reacts to heat sources, so they can beat him with Boruto's clones and Inujin's drawings. But first, Garaga's past. He was betrayed by a human back then and hates them ever since. So Boruto uses the Talk no Jutsu and so he becomes his contract summon for a short time. But if Boruto doesn't manage to get Mitsuki back, he will eat him. Absolutely good deal. Now they show Hakusha not only the scale, but the whole Garaga. As a reward, they now see what the snake saw. Surprise! Mitsuki is not really evil. The injured shinobi can still remember what the enemies said to Mitsuki when Mitsuki's snake briefly gave him a heart attack. Because they want to go to Iwagakure with him. Inojin and Chocho are to go back to Konoha to pass the new info. Short look at Mitsuki and the new enemies. They don't seem to feel any emotions. The leader of them is showing his army of monsters. Jounin seem to be paralyzed and one of the enemies likes Mitsuki. Naruto warns Kurotsushi of the danger and that they should arrive in Iwagakure soon. Also, more Konoha Jounin are killed by some of these monsters. The remaining surviving Jounin meet Kokuyo, who now finishes off the rest. So it's a good thing that Boruto and co run into him. The three of them have surely more chances than the 7 Jounin before. The three are now fighting against Kokuyo and his monster Acta. Kokuyo doesn't seem to be human either, and the three doesn't really stand a chance either. They manage to defeat Acta, but are then beaten by Kokuyo again, until they are then saved by Chocho and Inojin. Next, Team 10 wants to continue fighting Kokuyo, while the other two pursue. Mitsuki's comrade now also wants to meet the two and greets them with a butterfly. In the fight, Boruto summons Garaga, but he doesn't want to fight at all. Team 10 flees from Kokuyo, while Boruto and Sarada are also beaten, until Garaga joins in after all. Just before Boruto finishes it off, Mitsuki intervenes. Kokuyo now trusts Mitsuki completely, punches Boruto and moves on to Iwagakure. Apparently, Kokuyo doesn't trust Mitsuki quite yet. Too bad that Mitsuki's new best friend Sekiye is slowly dissolving. Meanwhile, Onoku is apparently passed out in bed, and on the way back, Kurotsuchi is attacked by Ku and some of his men. Lots of chatter between Sekiye and Mitsuki. Lots of talk about Boruto, and in the end, Sekiye is saved thanks to Mitsuki. An anti-dissolving medicine is given to Sekiye, so that he feels better again. And at the end, we also see Kurotsuchi, who has been captured by Ku in all seriousness. The Kage in Boruto are seriously good for nothing. A Kage can't even get out of few steel bars with letter bombs. Ridiculous. Boruto is passed out while Inojin and Chocho explore the surroundings. In the process, they encounter a mini Acta monster that has created itself out of the broken mask. However, this one apparently only likes Inojin and slapped Chocho's chips away. Where did she get them from anyway? In episode 75, she was almost starving. Well, he who finds the little one owns it, or so. The little Acta definitely lightens up the episode minimally, though it could have been done better in a third of the time and not stretched out so much. Meanwhile, Garaga pretends to be Kurama to talk to Boruto inside. How? I don't know. It's not like that Garaga is sealed inside Boruto. It's not like he's outside next to Boruto or anything. Well, Boruto knows now what he wants, to get Mitsuki back, wakes up, and so the journey can continue. You could have left out almost the whole episode, except the mini Acta monster is new. Inojin is to stay in the cave with the mini Acta, while the others want to enter Iwagakure unnoticed. Next, Konohamaru also makes his way to Iwagakure in Anbu style, since they can no longer make contact with Kurotsushi. Mini Acta does some cute stuff. I like that little guy. The four now enter the village unnoticed, come to the conclusion that the kidnappers were not officially sent by Iwagakure, and thanks to Chocho, have to go eat something first. Since they are next in search of Onoki, they are quite lucky that the owner is probably the world's biggest Onoki fanboy. Shikadai manages to know from him where Onoki's house is by asking specific questions. All the while, Akatsushi stalks the four. He follows them, arrests them, only to say that he's on their side. He takes the four to Onoki, who doesn't want to help at all, and runs away cool as hell. Not. Then Ku comes along with his Acta to play along. Oh yeah, and Inujin has renamed his mini Acta to Akum. Boruto is arrested, Kurotsushi's second in command is trapped in a genjutsu, and Konohamaru arrives at the paralyzed Jonins. Onoki is on the side of Ku, or rather Ku is on Onoki's side, because he is afraid that something like what happened with the Ototsukis could happen again and many people could lose their lives. He wants to help the Acta to live longer, and for that they need Mitsuki's, respectively Orochimaru's knowledge, which they want to take out of Mitsuki's body. A fight breaks out. Ku and Acta against Akatsushi and Co. Akatsushi is slapped aside, Ku doesn't seem to listen to Onoki, Boruto saves Onoki and Shikadai is captured. He is then sent to prison where Kurotsushi is. Next, Adolf Einstein takes over the research on Mitsuki's body. But this has to be interrupted due to a curse mark in Mitsuki's heart. Boruto is trapped in a sphere with Onoki. They got into it by mistake and now they have to find the Stone of Will to get out of it. Another problem, you can't use jutsus inside the sphere. But it's actually okay that they are there, at least Ku can find them there. With Onoki's scouting help, the two can survive now. In the evening, they can chat some more. Onoki says that the generation that grows up in abundance can't grow properly, and also Ku is a homunculus created from Onoki's cells. Mitsuki meets Ku and the two philosophize about what their own will is and whether they even have one as a homunculi. One thing they definitely don't have is a long lifespan. At least not those of Iwagakure, if they don't get injected every now and then. Boruto meets an Iwa shinobi who is also looking for the Stone of Will. The two of them try to find the stone even though they don't really like each other. Adolf Einstein is already closer to the mystery of Mitsuki's heart. In order for the other homunculi to get a heart that is similar to Mitsuki's, real human hearts are needed. For sure, Onoki wouldn't like that. Well, they already have a test object. Shikadai, who manages to get out though. Akatsushi wants to go to Konoha to tell Naruto, but has to be saved by Konohamaru. Apparently, Konohamaru also managed to free the deputy of Kurotsushi from the genjutsu. In the time, the two don't manage to find the stone. So Onoki gives an important tip. If you only look for excuses, you will only talk your way out of it. On the search of water, the two meet a small puppy, which isn't in such a good mood. But as a team, they beat it, they get the Stone of Will and find the exit. So they go their separate ways again. And at the end, we learn that Ku wants to start with the subjugation of Iwagakure. Ku walks into the office with few monsters and his minions and rules the village in less than a second. Onoki shows Boruto the place where Onoki's grandson died and tells him the story of how he died. He was attacked by a Nukinin and died on his deathbed in the hands of Onoki. Onoki blames himself, and that's how it all started with the Acta. The samples of the development of the whole homunculi come from Shirozetsus. 5 shinobis are already prepared for the operations. However, it goes off only if Onoki gives his go. But he prefers to philosophize with Boruto what really makes a human being. Is it one's own will? Since the homunculi have one, how do they differ from the other humans? And so on and so forth. In the end, Boruto and Onoki are enemies again, and Kako, with a hairstyle with the most hairspray in the world, finds Onoki and comes to support. Because Boruto and Shikadai still haven't arrived at the meeting point, the three want to go with Akum to look for them. On the way, they quickly encounter an injured Akatsushi. Onoki asks Kako not to hurt Boruto, so first slash him with a kunai and pulverize him with a jinton. The others notice the fight too, so Sarada and Chocho want to help Boruto, while Inojin takes Akatsushi to the cave. Oh well, and Onoki wonders if maybe those two are fighting right now. Yeah, really got all that guy. Boruto in danger, so rescue by Shikadai calls Shikamaru, tells him everything and escapes for now before Ku interferes. Konoha wants to march into Eva after the info, but it takes a bit longer because the daimyos have to give their okay. Inujin and Akun get a visit from the Genjutsu homunculi and the fight against Kaku continues. The fight is really well done. Just before Kaku would have destroyed Boruto with a huge Jinton, his life limit is reached and he dies. Onoki doubts slowly whether the homunculi have a free will. Inujin is in the Genjutsu and thus Boruto is taken hostage to bring all as prisoners to the city. The four are trapped now, and when they arrive at the village, Onoki notices that there are a few many weapons on the ground and no villagers left. At Ku, Onoki is further enlightened. Clearly, Onoki is against the sacrifices. It's just unfortunate that Ku has his own will, knocks Onoki unconscious and takes over the complete leadership. Just before the four would have died, Shikadai came to save them. However, the two homunculi grabbed them. So Team 10 against Kokuyo and Sarada and Boruto against Kirara. Again, Kokuyo overpowers Team 10, so now tactics have to come in. They pretend that Shikadai sacrifices himself for the other two, but they trick him so that they hit him directly. The body takeover from the Yamanaka clan doesn't work that well. So that Inujin can't try that again, he wants to kill him first. But that's when Akun got in the way, whose mask was broken by Kokuyo. One meat bomb tank later, Kokuyo was so hurt that he can't continue. Then Inujin says goodbye to Akun. Meanwhile, the operations are to start and Mitsuki also meets Konohamaru. Boruto and Sarada have a little trouble. They are being controlled and are now supposed to have a sword fight. Onoki wakes up and realizes that he has made quite a mess. He realizes that the actually will-less homunculi have a will after all. But he can't get out now because he's being watched all the time. Seki and Akatsushi are the only shinobi who were not captured. But because Akatsushi is too exhausted, Seki is supposed to go rescue Onoki and the others. Meanwhile, a heart has already been completed. Mitsuki and Seki are now supposed to take it to Ku, where Kirara now also wants to go. Instead of killing Boruto and Sarada, she leaves them alone until they finish up on their own. Seems to have as little sense as heart. Sarada sees herself in the reflection and is able to free herself and Boruto from the Genjutsu. Just before Mitsuki could deliver the heart, Boruto and Sarada came up with a talk no jutsu. Wasn't very effective. Ku gets the heart, whatever he wants with it, without blood circulation. However, Mitsuki does the Kurutetsu anyway and betrays Ku. Together with Konohamaru, they cross his plans. Konohamaru destroys the Actas and has freed Kurotsushi. Also, Onoki wants to go into action. Team 7 is reunited, Seki is angry with Mitsuki, and the end. Ku escapes while the last two homunculi still have to be fought. So Acta with woman against Sarada and Boruto and Mitsuki against Seki. The homunculi fuses the Acta into a gigantic one. However, 9 of those are supposed to make such a beast. And why the hell can she even do that? Anyway, Boruto gets Garaga to help, who for some reason can talk to Boruto. Garaga cock-slaps the golem, but then it gets thrown around. Sarada tries her luck, but gets caught herself. Or not! As a team, they manage to destroy the golem, which also killed the homunculi. She would have been killed anyway. So that leaves Mitsuki against Seki. Good fight, even if Seki has no chance. Ku saves Adolf Einstein only to kill him for his heart. Then Seki speaks his last words to Mitsuki, one last bro fist before he... Oh, that was really well done. All that's left is Ku, who has implanted himself with a heart. Onoki really wants to be in the fight against Ku, even if he has to crawl there. Fortunately, Seki is there to help a bit. In Konoha, there is finally confirmation that they'll be allowed to go into Iwagakure to clean up. That's why Naruto, Sai and more are going there now. Iwabe, Lee, Deku and a few more want to go as well. In the past, the trip to Sunagakure took just under 3 days. Here, with almost the same route, it probably won't take too long. In any case, Mitsuki grabs Ku in the Senin mode and yeeted away with him. This left Sarada and Boruto locked up. Until they were freed by Seki. So Onoki piggybacked and continued. In the fight, Ku wanted to kill them with a huge Jinton, but they just go down a floor. Quickly they are recovered and... Mitsuki and Sarada attack him, hold him and... so that Boruto can hit him directly. In the Jinton battle, Onoki uses up the last of his power, but kills Ku in the process. Onoki's death was pretty lame. Seki's death was much better, though you barely knew him. In the end, Naruto and Ku are there too, and Mitsuki gets a warm welcome from his old friends. It goes back for Boruto and the others. Meanwhile, there's a funeral which also left me absolutely cold. Back home, all the families are happy to have their children back in their arms. Only Mitsuki is in solitary confinement. Also, Boruto and Sarada are to be stripped of their genin rank. Pointless. Mitsuki is interrogated and Garaga gets the fuck away from Boruto again, since Mitsuki is back. Mitsuki is out again, lays a grave for the other homuncules, apologizes to Boruto, and in the end all is well again. Mitsuki even laughs quite sincerely with Boruto and Sarada now. Boruto once again cries for Onoki at the evening walk. Kurotsushi comes to Konoha to thank them personally. All three get their genin rank back, and now Mitsuki even has more pictures next to his bed. Let's get to the results. There are 7 good, 9 average and 6 bad episodes here. This season could have been done so much better. The story was in some parts absolutely horrible stretch. The Shanaro was such a pain in the ass, especially in episode 91. So many logic holes, embarrassing actions of the Kage and so on. A lot of potential, a lot left undone, despite apparently a lot of time. It's not necessary to pack 22 episodes with this stuff. A normal 14 to 16 would do the season a lot better.